Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Mercia podcast. My name is Pete McGrath, the Head of Marketing here at Mercia, and today I'm joined by Louise Connor, our Management and Skills Trainer. Hello Lou, how are you today?
I'm good, Pete, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, really good. I'm really impressed with our brand new studio.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, really swish.
Pleasantly surprised when I walked in this morning. And this is new for us, isn't it? So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, very, very exciting. So today we're going to have a bit of a deep dive into our soft skills that are taught within our skills management and leadership program. Louise, you lead this program.
I do.
And today you're going to help us explore why these topics are essential and how they can benefit everybody in the accounting profession. Okay, so we're hearing an awful lot from our clients about the evolving expectations of an accountant. And here at Mercia, we're having to adapt our training program all of the time to meet the future demands of the profession.
Yeah.
And you shared a really interesting fact with me before we sat down today, and that was that 82% of managers, I'm staggered by that number, have never received any formal training. How this has led to a phenomenon known as the accidental manager.
Yeah, the accidental manager.
And it's started to show up in the accountancy world even more.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that throughout both of our careers, we've found ourselves in this position. And let's just deep dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah, so there was research done by the Chartered Management Institute, and that came up with the stats that 82% of people find themselves kind of falling into a management role, hence the term accidental manager. So I think a lot of people start within accountancy firms. It's a job they enjoy, the problem-solving side of it, the numbers side of it. But then, like anything, Pete, when you're technically brilliant at your role, you inherit a team, don't you? Because it's then, Pete's really good at his job, so you can start to show other people how to do roles within the business. And it's not something that we sign up to do initially. Not all of us are people, but we're not. No. And then we find ourselves with a team of people where we're having to understand their wants and their needs, and it's a difficult one. And I think what we were saying earlier, Pete, when we had a chat before this podcast, that we've both been in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're a similar age, late 20s.
Yeah, absolutely.
But where we've been in roles that we've been very good at, and then you have this team that you're supposedly able to manage and you know how to navigate situations. And I was definitely put in that situation within an early start of my career. And I think what I hear as well from the accountancy firms that I go out to, so I go to a lot of firms across the UK, speak to lots of different accountants at all different levels. And what I hear a lot is it's going from that, how do I go from being a doer to a reviewer, especially when you're working with your friends, your peers, and then you step up and you're now having to manage them. So it's a hard scenario to be in, and one that we've both been in. I mean, what did you experience all those years ago, Pete?
I think it's very similar, isn't it? And as I say, I'm the head of marketing, so I'm not from an accountancy background.
Yeah.
But it's very, very similar. You spend that early part of your career honing your skills.
Yeah.
Honing your technical knowledge, honing the ability to do the job well. And for many of us, the skills that are required to be a brilliant marketeer or a brilliant accountant or a fantastic bookkeeper are very, very different from the skills that you are required when you're coaching or training or managing people. And I think that you do find yourself accidentally falling into that role through being the best performing member of the team, the most suitable to take the next step. And it was no different for me. Very, very early in my career, I was thrust into a team leader position and then a management position, and I was given the opportunity to take some training on after I'd done the job for 2 years and prove that I could be a good manager.
So they're saying to you, you can go into the managerial role, show us that you can do it, and then once you've proven you can do it, we'll then train you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're not alone when we speak about our experiences. And I was the same. I was technically very good at my job. I was always curious and eager to learn the next thing. And they said to me, the company that I worked for at the time said, Lou, we've got a team that needs turning around, managing. We think you'd be great at it. But it was people that I'd worked with. It was people that I was friends with outside of work. and you're then trying to manage them, ask them to do tasks that they don't want to do, and they push back and say, well, you do it. Why are you telling us what to do instead of you doing it? And also what it was for me, there was no real communication to why I was stepping up into that role and how it was going to work for them. So straight away I did face a lot of resentment from what were my teammates, because they didn't like me then being in a position, a more authoritative position, trying to tell them what to do. So I faced it. Yeah, it was really, really challenging at the time.
Yeah, it's really tough, isn't it? And I think that at that stage you're dealing with a whole host of different emotions. You're now trying to prove yourself again with a different skill set.
Yeah.
And you're having to build up some skills yourself, whether that's building up resilience, whether it's building up the ability to delegate for the first time. I think it's really, really tough.
I think like one thing probably for us, and I can probably speak on your behalf when I say this, Pete, but the experiences that we've been through, being thrown into these roles with no training, no support, no coaching, and I think it's fair for me to say this because it's from my own experiences, that there wasn't the support network that there is today. The well-being wasn't spoken about. I remember going to my manager really struggling with the team and the workload, and the response was kind of like, this is management, Lou. And if you want to do well and if you want to move on in your career, suck it up, get on with it. And that was the response. So then you just kind of had to get on with it, go home and cry yourself to sleep sometimes. And I'm really pleased to say that in today's world that there is that support there. There is, we talk a lot about well-being. We care about our team members and how they're progressing and what they need. And, especially the courses that Mercia do, it is to support people that are going through this transition. Change in itself is difficult, but it's definitely made me more resilient.
Without a doubt.
So I have to reflect upon the scenarios that I've been in and realise kind of 20 years later how they have made me a stronger person, and they have helped me to get through some of the tougher times in adult life. But I'm pleased to say that the support is here, and the courses within the skill management, leadership and skills brochure, there's a lot. So there's a lot around communication. My most popular courses that we do for skills: delegation and feedback, performance management, coaching, anything around just understanding each other and understanding what people need. So we're speaking quite a lot about management and that transition. How do I go from doer to reviewer? How do I understand my team? How do I get the best out of what they need and what they want from me? But it is ultimately down to how we communicate with people, getting to understand them as individuals as well as a team, because everybody has their own needs. So it is about understanding that your team members are made up of individuals and that there's different approaches that you need to take depending on what support they need. So there's a lot that I do on the management side, but I do train. So this week I've been training team members that have started within the firm within a week. So they're very, very new to the accountancy world. So I train anybody that's just started within their accountancy career, right up to your directors, partners, and anything in between. And of course, I tailor the courses to what those team members, what those individuals need. But what I try and do with the team members that are newer to accountancy practice is get them to take a more of a proactive approach. So talk to your managers about what you need. If they are showing you something new that's quite technically challenging, talk to them about what helps you to retain that information. It might be repetition. It might be that you need to buddy up with somebody, shadow somebody, or you get your really hands-on, quick learners that will just figure it out for themselves. But it's about understanding your people, and you'll know this, Pete, because you've got a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've touched on it a couple of times there. That there's when you first start off as a manager, you're really, really cautious that you need to treat everybody the same because you need to be fair. And I think as you've done the job for a while and you become a bit more experienced, like me and you, that you understand that treating everybody fairly isn't the same as treating everybody the same. And I think that's a really important part of what you do as a manager. Yeah. And I think that point of being a new member to an accountancy firm right at the start of your career, having that confidence to say, well, no, the best way I find to learn is I'm a visual learner, or can we record this session so I can watch it again? Or have you got a scribe that I can sit and watch it through? Or have you got a written version of this? And everybody is different and everybody consumes information in different ways. Some people like to read a book, others like to listen to a podcast like we are today. Yeah. And I think it's understanding those differences and helping your team navigate through that is really important. Yeah. So today we've spent a lot of time talking about management and that progression to management. But I think it's fair to say that, as you've touched on, you teach and coach accountants at all levels. So if we think about those people that are not in management positions right at the early stage of their career, what are the most common skill gaps that we're seeing there that firms are asking you to support us with?
So if they're people that are new to their career, it's communication breakdown. So what we're seeing now is we're getting the next generation coming into our workforce, and the challenges that I hear is, I don't know how to work with that person, or they've got a different work ethic to me. But of course they have, because they've been born in a different age. But what we're seeing now is we're getting the next generation through that, they've been brought up in a digital world. They're problem solvers. They're innovative. They will have ways of doing something more efficiently. So it's about encouraging them to be curious, encouraging them to give their thoughts and ideas on how they could see the processes that we do within our firms better, easier, for the firm, for the team, for the clients as well. What I also speak to the newer accountants about is understanding that you are dealing with different generations. So where uploading something into a portal or e-signing a document is easy for you, it's not easy for your older generation. We were talking about this earlier as well, again, weren't we, about getting here? Yes. So, one of our super helpful Mercia team members sent us, I keep calling them the coordinates. What is it, Pete? Is it?
No, it was the Google Map coordinates for the location. So I dropped pin in effect, as most of us would know.
Yeah, and I thought that's really helpful, thank you, but I don't know what to do with it. Just give me a postcode. So we've had a conversation today, and I said, thank you for going out of your way to drop the coordinates in to show me where it is. But I don't know what to do with those. So going forward, I did say, can you just give me an A to Z? Because that's how I used to plan my routes out. But going forward, can you just give me a postcode? And it's just communicating with each other and understanding each other's preferences, but we don't know unless we ask. No. So I don't know what my team members need from me when I'm teaching them something new or I'm giving them feedback, unless I ask them. So, what do you need from me to help you learn? But also encouraging people that are newer to accountancy to ask the question, why do we do it like this? How long have we done it like this? Have we considered this? Us being here now is, thanks to us having our Gen Zs in Mercia, isn't it? Because they're looking at how the world is changing, what people's preferences are, and giving us suggestions that I wouldn't come up with, Pete.
No, I agree completely. And multi-generational workforces are a fact.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of discourse online about clashes and culture clashes between those generations, but they're not required. The reality is, as you say, communicate, talk to each other, and I say talk, it might be instant message if somebody doesn't want to have a face-to-face conversation, but open channels of communication that enable you to understand the differences in your teams and embrace those differences and treat people and give people the same opportunities. And I think it's perfectly easy to do, isn't it?
And again, I've had this conversation today with one of our younger Mercia team members, and I've said that, that they've messaged me on Teams, and what I've said to them is, actually, you're better off if you could just have a quick conversation with me. So I would prefer to talk to you. So anything going forward, don't worry if my Teams is on busy. Obviously if I'm out the office or do not disturb, it's a different matter. But even if it's on busy, just try and call me, because I would much rather just have a quick conversation with you, because I find that easier than batting back 10 messages. So now we understand how each other prefer to work. So it's just us letting each other know what our preferences are. We don't know our team members. We've got different personalities. We are all different in our approach to situations, but unless we have these conversations with people and get to know people's preferences, I don't know how to work with that person. So we've got to find out. Yeah. So what I do most of in my courses is I just get people to think about situations from a different angle, kind of take a step back, look from the outside in, practice a little bit of empathy, and put yourself in the shoes of that person. So, what would you need if you were new to accountancy? But also, if you are new to accountancy, tell people what will help you. So if you're struggling with something, just say, Pete, as my manager, as you go through this, could I make some notes? Could I come back to you in a couple of hours with some questions once I've started the task that you're setting me? Because unless you tell people what you want and need, they don't know. But we put too much pressure on ourselves, especially in managerial roles, that we should know what everybody wants, how to manage everybody. But we don't, because we're all individuals. No. So, yeah.
Fab. Okay, Lou, so we've touched on new to the accountancy profession, our juniors and trainees. We've touched on managers and progression to management, but we haven't really spoken about our senior managers, our partners, our owners of firms. When's the best time for them, and what do they need to cover from a skills training perspective?
So I think the more senior we get, it's still so important to keep that communication going. We get so wrapped up in our day-to-day busy roles that we do that we forget what it's like to be a new starter. We forget what it's like to be learning the technical side of it. But it's really important to keep that communication going, but also to drive the strategy through the business and make sure everybody's aware of why we're doing what we're doing. How do we communicate that to all of the teams throughout the business so that everybody knows what their role is and how it aligns with their mission statement or the values that they have. So it's more about driving that strategy and the culture and the innovation and forward looking for where they want the business to go, but keeping that communication going through the whole of the business. So it's so important at any level that we're at within the organisations that we're working with.
So true. It's never too late to learn some new skills, right?
Never too late, no.
Fabulous. Okay, so before we go and enjoy whatever's in the green room waiting for us, I've got some quick fire questions for you. No more than 30 seconds each.
No pressure.
Let's dive straight in.
Okay,
so what's the one thing you wish all accountants knew?
I wish all accountants knew that skills training shouldn't take a back seat. I appreciate technical training is important and it's what they need to do their role, but without the skills training, your team members lose focus, your retention will be lower, you'll have an unhappy workforce. So skills is just as important as technical.
Fabulous. What's the most optimum stage of your career to do skills training?
So great news, there is no window of opportunity to improve your skills. So no crucial timing to, not by school age, or you can always improve your communication skills, your soft skills. They're transferable skills. So there is no window of opportunity to do this. So all the time.
Fab. Okay, and it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't talk about AI. So how do we think AI will impact skills training?
What I would like to say about AI, it's a tool, it's not a replacement. We still need the human element that comes into the role when we're giving feedback, when we're reviewing work. We're going to lose early parts of jobs to AI, which will make that feedback piece, reviewing piece difficult. So it's a tool, not a replacement. That's what I'm going to say. So
fabulous.
That's how I'll end it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time today, Lou. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Pete. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll speak to you all soon.
All right. Thanks.